I could care less. Incorrect usage. I could care less what they think. Why it's wrong. The phrase is supposed to be I couldn't care less, meaning that you care so little that it's impossible to care any less. Saying I could care less implies that you do care to some degree, which is the opposite of what you mean. Correct usage. I couldn't care less what they think. For all intensive purposes, incorrect usage. For all intensive purposes, we should finish the project by Friday. Why it's wrong. The phrase should be for all intents and purposes, meaning in effect or practically speaking. Intensive refers to something requiring a lot of effort or concentration, but that's not the meaning intended in this expression. Correct usage. For all intents and purposes, we should finish the project by Friday. Irregardless. Incorrect usage. Irregardless of the weather, the game will be played. Why it's wrong. Irregardless is a non-standard word. The correct word is regardless, which means without taking something into account or despite any circumstances. Irregardless is a double negative, the prefix ir and the less suffix, and is generally considered incorrect. Correct usage. Regardless of the weather, the game will be played. Could've. Incorrect usage. I could have gone to the store, but I didn't feel like it. Why it's wrong. The phrase could've is a misheard version of could've, which is a contraction of could have. Correct usage. I could have gone to the store, but I didn't feel like it. Nip it in the butt. Incorrect usage. We need to nip this problem in the butt right now. Why it's wrong. The correct phrase is nip it in the bud, which means to stop something before it has a chance to grow or develop. Butt refers to the rear end, which doesn't fit in this context. Correct usage. We need to nip this problem in the bud right now. Bated breath. Incorrect usage. I waited with bated breath for the announcement. Why it's wrong. The correct phrase is bated breath, where bated is a shortened form of abated, meaning to reduce or hold back. The term refers to holding your breath in anticipation or anxiety, not to baiting, luring something. Correct usage. I waited with bated breath for the announcement. One and the same. Incorrect usage. Democrats and liberals are one and the same. Why it's wrong. The correct expression is one and the same, meaning that two things are identical or equivalent. One and the same is a common slip-up, likely caused by the similar sound of the two phrases. Correct usage. Democrats and liberals are one and the same. You've got another thing coming. Incorrect usage. If you think I'll forgive you, you've got another thing coming. Why it's wrong. The correct phrase is, you've got another think coming, meaning you have misunderstood or are about to be corrected in your thinking. Think refers to an idea or thought, not a thing. Correct usage. If you think I'll forgive you, you've got another think coming. Case in point. Incorrect usage. That's a great case in point for why we should leave. Why it's wrong. The phrase should be case in point, meaning a specific example that illustrates a broader argument or idea. Case in point is a miscombination of the two words. Correct usage. That's a great case in point for why we should leave. Pique my interest. Incorrect usage. That movie really piqued my interest. Why it's wrong. The correct phrase is pique my interest, where pique means to stimulate or arouse curiosity. Pique refers to the highest point of something, which is unrelated to interest or attention. Correct usage. That movie really piqued my interest. Less versus fewer. Incorrect usage. There are less people at the party than I expected. Why it's wrong. Less is used for uncountable nouns like water or money, while fewer is used for countable nouns such as people or cars. So when referring to countable things like people, you should use fewer. Correct usage. There are fewer people at the party than I expected. Laying low. Incorrect usage. I'm just gonna lay low for a while. Why it's wrong. The verb lay is transitive and requires an object. For example, I'll lay the book on the table. The correct verb for this idiom is lie, which is intransitive and means to recline or stay low. Correct usage. I'm just gonna lie low for a while. Flammable versus inflammable. Common confusion. Inflammable means flammable, something that can catch fire easily. People often assume that inflammable means non-flammable, but both flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. Why it's wrong. The prefix in this case doesn't mean not, as it does in many other words. It comes from Latin, where inflammable meant easily set on fire. Correct usage. Flammable and inflammable both mean something can catch fire easily, though flammable is more commonly used today to avoid confusion. Expecially, incorrect usage. It was especially difficult to make that decision. Why it's wrong. The word especially is an incorrect variation of especially. This often happens due to how people pronounce the word. Correct usage. It was especially difficult to make that decision. A whole nother, incorrect usage. That's a whole nother problem. Why it's wrong. The word nother is a non-standard form of another. It comes from mispronouncing or mishearing a whole other, and the incorrect version has stuck in informal speech. Correct usage. That's a whole other problem. Trying to do something to the best of my ability. Incorrect usage. I'm trying to do it to the best of my ability. Why it's wrong. While this phrase is not grammatically incorrect, it's often overused in a vague way that doesn't add any real meaning. The best of my ability sounds like something everyone says, but doesn't truly communicate specific effort. People tend to use it more as a cliché than a precise expression of effort. Better alternative. I'm giving it my best effort, or I'm doing my best. Me and him or him and I. Incorrect usage. Me and him went to the store, or him and I went to the store. Why it's wrong. The correct form should be he and I for the subject and him and me for the object. The use of me or I in the subject position or him in the object position is grammatically incorrect. Correct usage. He and I went to the store, or they saw him and me at the store. By being mindful of these common misuses, you can ensure clearer and more effective communication, especially in formal writing or speeches. While most of these mistakes don't necessarily impede understanding in casual speech, they can make your communication sound less polished or even lead to confusion in certain contexts.